Don't bother with an introduction. You can just go ahead and start.
Oh, I gotta tune into your stream first. It's still there. There we go. There we go.
Welcome back to the amazing tales of Dr. Bones in the Alone Zones!
Oh no.
Painful. All right. So, last we left off, the party delved deeper into Acheron, past the first level of Thuldanan, down to the Sargasso Sea, and it crash landed, surviving, thankfully, their ship mostly intact. They wandered and drifted about the garbage flows for about a day before being approached, or really approaching, a small colony of ratfolk in Nezumi, originally from the lands of Karatur on the Prime Material Plane. A Nezumi, calling herself Fourpaws, explained to them that she was once a proud and noble assassin for her people, but now this is her delegated afterlife, and that she had a request for the party and would be willing to give them handsome rewards if they aided her. A descendant of hers, also dead, was recently captured by a group on one of the garbage trawlers that makes their way around the plane, scavenging debris and loot from the falling, crashing battles above. The party agreed, saying that they needed a place to dock their ship and work anyway, and they would be able to help her as they're doing so. The party began to make their way towards the garbage trawler and came across a strange sight along their way. A demon floating on a hunk of metal inside a summoning circle, or a devil specifically. They spoke to the creature, realizing he was a war devil, made amalgamations from the Nine Hells, and he was summoned by the man, my voice is nasally tonight. I am so sorry to your streamers. I don't typically sound like a nerd from an old 80s movie, talking about my Aether farm and such.
You're fine.
The devil explained that they were summoned by a warforged to hunt after a party of adventurers that were accosting their stronghold. The party quickly sussed out that this group of adventurers was in fact them, and that the war devil let slip that the warforged was in actuality a Rakshasa, which never stayed truly dead and has been back alive via the typical Rakshasa respawning time for some time now. Acknowledging that that's an issue they'll have to deal with later, they offered to free the war devil in exchange for his help. And the war devil said, "Sure, absolutely. I'll kill every Dwergar in that trawler if you get me out of this stupid circle." The party agreed, and the slaughter began. The war devil, along with the party, attacked the garbage trawler after the ship took about half a dozen ballista shots, still surviving. The war devil, along with Maribel invisible on its back, made its way to the top of the trawler and proceeded to brutally slaughter over 135 Dwergar on the ship. The party then made their way up alongside the horror that was happening on the top decks and snuck their way down below. Found the Nezumi captive, freed her, intercepted the high priest that was on its way to deal with the devil, and killed her too. The Dwergar, shortly realizing that their home was about to be completely overtaken by a bloodthirsty monstrosity that was unable to be reasoned with, quickly fled through a portal that they had for just such an emergency. This is a warplane after all. Escape hatches and everything are common. The Dwergar grabbed as many valuables as they could, stripped the entire cantina of all of its valuables as well. They made their way through the portal. The War Devil, his mission complete, made his way off of the plane thanks to a plane shift spell provided by lovely Miss Maribel. And now the party has just finished rounding up all the loot that they could find in the vaults and in the market little cantina. Had a quick meeting with the Avatar of Deep Jura, who respected them for their gumption, but warned them if they ever tried this shit again, she would personally come down and whip their asses. And this is where we find ourselves. Party, you are in the bottom of the war trawler garbage scrap thing, and are going through the vaults. Would you like to know the loot that you have found?
Oh, yes.
Wonderful. In raw valuables, you have found 4,400 gold pieces. Boink. 190 platinum pieces. And 25 minor art objects, 8 minor art objects worth 25 gold apiece. These art objects are mostly small pieces of scrap that have been repurposed or remodeled into Dwergar art. You know, things like an old rattan rocking chair that has been refurbished, or like a table that has been sanded down and repainted. You know, things that people would pull out of an actual, junkyard and then fix up. Additionally, when going through the markets area, the cantina, you find 4 minor magical items. A impact club, a sanguine lance, a staff of the lantern bearer, and a pestilent spear. These are not common magical items, and I will give you the quick rundown of what they do. As soon as my search opens them up. Okay. An impact club is a magical item with 3 charges that regains 1d3 charges daily at dawn. It's a standard club for stat purposes. But while you hit a target on your turn, you could take a bonus action and expend 1 charge to attempt to shove the target. The club grants you a +1 weapon, +1 bonus to your strength athletics check to shove the target. If you roll a 20 on the attack roll with the club, you have advantage on your strength athletics check to shove the target, and you can push the target up to 10 feet away. Basically, you wallop, and it knocks a creature very far. Also, it does not require attunement, which is nice. A sanguine lance is a lance for stat purposes. Nothing special about that. But it's a fiendish lance that runs red with blood. You gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. When you hit a creature that has blood with this lance, it takes an additional 1d6 points of necrotic damage, and you're going to hit points equal to half the amount of necrotic damage dealt. That does require attunement.
Nice. If only Killa was here, and she could take that lance and throw that at also people.
Indeed.
Bam.
A staff of the lantern bearer. As soon as it opens, here we go. Is a quarter staff for the properties of the weapon. I'm just putting the name in quick. An iron hook is affixed to the top of this plain wooden staff. While holding the staff, you can use an action to cast the light spell from it at will, but the light can emanate only from the staff's hook. If a lantern hangs from the staff hook, you gain the following benefits while holding the staff. You can control the light of the lantern. Lighting or extinguishing it is a bonus action. The lantern must have oil in it. If it requires oil to produce a flame, the lantern's flame can't be extinguished by wind or water. If you are a spellcaster, you can use the staff as a spellcasting focus. When you cast a spell that deals fire or radiant damage using the staff as your spellcasting focus, you get a +1 bonus to the spell's attack roll or the spell's DC. And it works as a druidic focus.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Finally, a pestilent spear is Oh, by the way, these last 2 items do not require attunement. If I can spell attunement right. A pestilent spear. Or pestilent spear? Pestilent spear. Is a standard spear with this ability. The head of the spear is a deadly sharp despite its rusty and slimy residue on it that always accumulates no matter how well it is cleaned. When you hit a creature with this magic weapon, it must succeed a DC 13 Constitution saving throw or contract the sewer plague disease.
Oh my.
For reference, sewer plague. It has the following effects that get worse the longer you have it.
Probably pretty mild, right?
No, first you get a
Like
level of
sewer
exhaustion.
plague.
While exhausted from this, you regain only half the number of hit points as normal. You become restless. And while you have exhaustion levels, finishing a long rest neither restores lost hit points nor restores a creature's exhaustion level.
Oh no.
And you basically, yeah, it's bad, and you can fight it every day, making a con save. If you fail, you get another level of exhaustion as it worsens. On a success, the exhaustion level decreases by 1, and you have to reduce the plague's exhaustion level to 0 naturally, or else it never goes away.
That is
It's brutal.
unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. I don't know how many situations that may come up to where that would be effective against an NPC creature. I guess it could suck if you were like in a
Maybe we were
diplomancy
evil
situation.
and we did it to humans or normal
Yeah,
other
right.
humanoids, you know.
You know,
Evil
it's still a
humanoid
cool, it's still a cool, vaguely evil item that makes sense for these Dwergar to have.
Yeah.
So, these are all of the items that you find inside of the trawler. Roughly 7,000 gold worth of items, magical or otherwise, and a bunch of garbage. Like, this trawler is filled to the brim with junk and debris. There's heaps of scrap metal, scrap wood, old, damaged, rusty weapons and armor, half destroyed workstations of all kinds. You know, this place was literally a scrapper that trolled through the Sargasso Sea. That, by the way, you will not be able to unfortunately move, as it takes a crew of 70 people to continuously move the structure, which you do have it with the slaves. So if you wanted to move the trawler, you theoretically could.
I don't think
on
any
that
of us
note-
plan to keep this, especially with turning
Well,
into rust.
I don't. Yes. One other thing that you should be made aware of, Evie, because you were not here for the session that the party fell into Sargasso. There is a curse of sorts, or really a planar effect, that is on this layer of Acheron. It's the rusting. Basically, every day you have to make a Constitution saving throw. If you fail the first one, you begin to slowly petrify over the course of the day. Your movement speed is halved, and you have difficulty like using your limbs as your body slowly begins to rust. The following day, you make the saving throw again. If you pass, the effect ends on you for that day. If you fail, you completely petrify. The process refreshes every time you pass the saving. So basically, day 1, if you fail, you begin to rust. Day 2, if you fail, you petrify. If you succeed, the rusting stops and you go back to normal. Day 3, you make the save again. Repeat. And that's just what the plane does. There's no effect that can stop it. You have to have a blessing from one of the native gods here, namely Deep Jura, to not turn to a living statue every couple of days.
How rusty is your girl?
You passed the first save, so you're actually good for now, but you've only actually been on the plane for a single day. You guys literally slaughtered an entire town's worth of slaving very evil Dwergar in less than 24 hours.
Of getting here, even.
Yes, we do.
Not even that.
As
it was
you do.
less of 24 hours of just getting to the plane.
Yikes.
Indeed.
It's pretty yikes.
Where am
a
I?
tad bit. You pop your head out of the ship.
Where am I?
as you were rendered unconscious, probably from the landing. That's kind of what we rolled with last time. You fell literally all through Acheron, through the first layer into the second layer, and your character conked their head on a support beam, and you were unconscious on the ship. Jostling rattles you out of your slumber as a loud thud slams you down. The ship has just been dropped as gracefully as possible. Back onto the top of what looks to be a massive dwarven-built trash trawler. The air is thick with the scent of rust and debris and death. Corpses are being thrown overboard as there are literally dozens of dead Dwergar and slaves all about you. You note your friends directing the corpse removal effort. Oh, and this is the area around you that you see in all directions.
Can someone please get this thing off of me? And Cass has like a soda can, like 6-pack ring thing sticking her wrists together like handcuffs.
Oh my god.
Very funny.
Just trying to gnaw through it.
You see a turtle floating by in the sea with one of those ring things around its neck as it coughs and hacks out, "Turtle Randy!" before sinking into the muck.
Turtle Randy's dying!
No.
Oh no!
Interdimensional Randy's everywhere.
Yep. So you're able to get out of the soda wrist lock, the soda ring wrist lock. Say that 10 times fast. Don't. And you note that you are in a literal garbage sea. The air is filled with a horrible rusty orange haze. The sky is a swirling thunderstorm of this orangish miasma, and a normal thunderstorm from the layer above you. In the distance, you see this massive ocean of trash that you're kind of wading in. The ocean itself is, in actuality, something like a planet's rings, like, Jupiter, that have those big rings around them. The planet, in your case, is a massive dodecahedron made out of rust-covered iron. Its gravitational well that exists around it catches the falling debris from the smashing geometric shapes of the layer of the plane above you. All wars, all battles, all bodies, all ships, all weapons, all battle stations, parapets, the manifolds and defenses, all fall down from the endless wars above you to this plane of roiling, endless garbage. The people here, as you can see in the distance from the many trash trawlers and other scavengers that skitter around the muck, go through this debris, gathering what little baubles and treasures they can find. Your party seems to have slaughtered roughly 100 some of these such creatures, Duragar slavers from the looks of it, and is now hucking their corpses very unceremoniously over the edge of the trawler that you find yourself on.
I wonder if Cass is familiar with Duragar.
Probably. Dwergar are a relatively common race in the Outlands and in Sigil. They have a reputation for being the drow of dwarves. They slave, they murder, they assault. They are not universally evil, but they have a very gnarly and bad reputation, much like typical drow.
Kind of realized with Cass's backstory, she probably would have been told stories about them. So, she immediately looks for the cleanest looking Duragar.
They are all dead.
Yeah, the cleanest looking corpse.
Okay, you find a priest that's next to you that doesn't look like he's been visibly wounded. There's no blood or big gashes. His head has just twisted 180 degrees.
Cass picks up his robes, picks him up by kind of the collar,
There's a horrible cracking noise as his head lolls left and right.
Holds his arm out and examines the sleeve for a second. Sniffs it.
Smells like rust, like everything else here.
Grimaces, rips it off, and wraps it around her face as a makeshift face mask. And then tosses the guy off the side of the crawler.
As such, he deserves. All right. Mass murder aside. Party. You now have a mobile station for which to repair your ship. The trawler, while explicitly built for scrapping, spell jamming ships, standard vessels, and really any other large structure or object that the trawler comes across in the Sargasso Sea, it has all of the facilities you would realistically need to have a dry dock for ship repair and modifications. Furthermore, the slaves aboard the ship can move the trawler respectively across the map, although they aren't going to be as proficient as using it as the Dwergar were, so you can assume that any finer functions of the trawler, such as its defenses, that sort of thing, aren't going to be available to you. But basic movement certainly is. Which means you can move the trawler back to where the Nezumi were to collect your other rewards. Very likely. Almost certainly likely. So, I am going to assume, because we're going to have like pseudo downtime here, it's going to take you at least a work week, or I'm sorry, at least 2 work weeks to fully get the wings on your ship, so you can fly the fuck out of here. Which means y'all are about to start making some con saves. Using clerical or priestly magic, such as Greater Restoration, can abate the effects of the plane. I will say that when someone goes to make the save, if you use Remove Curse or a similar effect like that while the save is being made, you can have advantage on the check, or on the saving throw. But I will note, you could probably only do that with 1 person per day. So, party. Oh, go ahead. I was just going to ask, what would you like to do? You have a trawler, you have a safe place to rest and stay, as there are barracks for over 150 Dwergar here. You all certainly have your own quarters. Oh, also, you found a +2 Warhammer that was on the Dwergar captain, and you found a... what the hell is that thing called? A +1 Amulet of the Devout on the Cleric. To Deep Dura. What's that? I think that was to break the plastic ring that was on her wrists.
I originally meant to make a strength check, but I pressed the wrong button.
Yeah, both. So, party. That's all of the things that you're able to scrounge off of this trawler. You also have more than enough food and water and supplies for yourselves on here. However, there isn't actually as much as you would think. There's realistically only about 50 days worth of rations and water on here, as you realize pretty quickly that all of the slaves and all of the Dwergar were petitioners. Who or drink, so they had very little food or water on the ship, which is actually somewhat conflicting, because you recall distinctly that the Nezumi petitioners that you met did need to eat or drink. So there's either something weird about the Nezumi or the Dwergar. But the Dwergar here didn't have much food or water. It looked like they only had it for their captives that they captured and sold as slaves. None for themselves. So what would you like to do? Fair
Yeah.
enough. Savvy, decide the party's course of action. What should you do next?
Tell us, Savvy, we must know.
I mean, we need to figure out a way off this plane. That's what
Yes,
we need
alright.
to do.
And currently, Neon is beginning the repairs on your ship. But that will take 10 days.
Yeah. I mean, we can get the ship onto this ship, right?
That took all of 10 seconds.
Perfect. Yeah, I guess we start doing that.
Okay.
Is there any way I can speed up the process? Or...
Yes, if more than one person is working on the ship, the speed of it does increase, but you'll both have to dedicate your entire time to doing so. So you could drop it from 2 work weeks to 1.
And I think we should do that. I am pretty good with machines. Let's try and work on this ship.
Yeah, the rate for repairs, because there are actually rules in this, cannot be reduced by more than half. So
Oh.
it doesn't matter if you have a team working on it or 2 people working on it. Kind of a weird ruling, but you can drop it by half basically. At least for installing. This is basically installing an upgrade, not actually repairing the ship. And the upgrade installation process has a minimum amount of time that it can take and a maximum. So by working together, you can reduce the amount of installation time down to the minimum, which is by half.
Okie dokie.
The rules are from Ghost of Saltmarsh. It's weird.
So, who were these slaves?
The slaves are a combination of other races, either found naturally in the Sargasso Sea, or who fell and survived their fall somehow from the plains above you. The majority of the slaves are Nezumi, ratfolk, humans, goblins, hobgoblins, orcs, and barbarians. So really tall, buff humans. You also see a bunch of other less common races in here. There's a few dwarves. There's a few possum folk, of all things. And there is a strange, fluffy raccoon-looking creature.
Cute.
Don't tell me he's a wisecracking gunslinger.
No, he's a Tanuki.
Oh, okay.
Wisecracking gunslinger.
No, he's a Tanuki.
Do the majority of y'all speak common?
A human raises his hand. Yes, miss. Yes, we do. Great sword. Oh, it was a plus 2 Warhammer.
Okay. Alright, so if we can't lower it past half, and Neon is working on it, and if Cecilia works on it, then that's half.
Yes.
Okay. That means potentially I could free up my downtime just making things?
Correct.
Alright. Then I will, I guess, begin making things over the course of a work week?
Yeah, I'm going to use what did I name that Nezumi woman that you guys rescued? Not Forepaws. It was like what was her name?
And then I have another question. Since this thing was specifically trying to get the best loot and/or items out of this trash pile, would it have an equivalent amount of gold worth in crafting ingredients?
For fine materials, no, not as much. It was a garbage trawler. The majority of the stuff that it raked through was trash. So it mostly had mostly raw wood, raw metal, raw glass, brass, bronze, that sort of thing. It also had... It has a collection of very poor but distinctly usable weapons, arms, and armor. That don't forget, this is majority debris from the plane above you, which is Acheron. So most fine objects like glass vials, crafting reagents like tinctures and salts and shit like that are either lost or completely destroyed when they fall the several miles from the layer above you. The only thing that like remains is just massive hordes of raw junk and debris, or magical items, which are resistant and can survive the fall. And you found all of the magical items that they were able to scavenge, namely that Ring of Necrotic Resistance you found, and the items that were in the canteen to be sold.
Yeah. So there's nothing left in the canteen as far as potential crafty ingredients for me to scavenge?
That's actually a good point. I did think about the canteen, the stuff that Dwergarb would have like in their possession. I was thinking mostly like junk that was trawled. Give me a... That's an idea. Roll a D100.
Okay.
Or, roll me a D100, because this is basically luck. It's whatever the Dwergarb didn't... That's pretty good.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's pretty good. Let me see here.
How many gold worth of crafting ingredients?
Roll me 2d12.
2 of those. Ah, that's pretty thick.
That is pretty good. You find a crate containing herbs used in vials of antitoxin. $20 vials worth, specifically. And you see you got an 8. A crate with enough materials to make 15 sticks of dynamite.
Jesus.
That's what you find.
I will copy yours because they are prettier.
Yep. So you basically find a bunch of healing herbs, and you find a bunch of sulfur and ammonia and casings for dynamite.
Holy fuck. Okie dokie. Thank you. I'll probably be crafting dynamite, I guess.
That's a decent thing to craft, for sure. Starry go boom. Okay. As you guys spend the day loitering about the ship, going through all of the rooms and, finding places to rest and stay, the head slave, which I found the name I gave her, it was Sharpfang. Sharpfang, who is going to be the representative for the slaves on the ship, is going to ask you where you would like the trawler to go. She assumes back to her home.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay. It'll probably take the better part of the day to get there. So you'll arrive, probably, the following morning.
Yeah. Seems good. Okay.
Yep. So you guys are here. I can't actually move this trawler, it's a part of the map, so we're going to use your token here as its representative. It just takes you a day to move over there, and you guys just have a flat day of downtime. You get a long rest, and the following morning, you guys all have to make that con save.
Yay, con saves.
Do the other...
Yeah, but you're good at them.
Long Constitution saving throw coming right up. Oh, that's thick.
You're fine. I will make Neon's. God, wouldn't it be funny if Neon gets petrified while poor Zoe is away? It would be funny. You guys just come back to check on the ship, and Neon's just like stuck in position. Hey, she passes.
Hey.
She's fine.
Does everyone else on the ship also make this save every day? Is the ship just full of rust statues?
You note there are a non-insignificant number of them, specifically down in the slave quarter. You note, or well, in the slaves' pens, I guess. The Dwergar were immune to the effects, and you note that most of the slaves were also immune. If you ask them about it, they will be happy to explain.
Are you guys safe from the curse?
The slaves nod tentatively. The slaves explain that Deep Dura's blessing kept the Dwergar from petrifying. This extended to anyone who was a possession of the Dwergar, i.e. a slave. Because of the laws of Deep Dura, her religion is fickle and strange, both slaves and those slaves who free themselves also carry the blessing.
Ooh.
Yep. Deep Dura is a weird god. She emancipated her people from Illithid enslavement. But she also dictates that Dwergar are to enslave and capture others. So she is both the god of freed slaves and also the god of slavery.
Hmm.
In her mind, a slave is only right to be free if they have the strength to take their freedom. Any slave that does carries her blessing.
Fair enough.
Which is also why the
Mhm.
neither.
Wait.
I'm a golfer. Bah! Bah!
Wait, can I have the blessing of Deep Dura then?
You do, actually. You have 2 piety in Deep Dura for freeing all of the slaves here.
No, because, like, Cass was stuck in the fighting pit.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, actually, I would argue that if you were once a slave and freed yourself, you would carry Deep Dura's blessing here. Don't have to make that con save.
It was
That
more
is-
like a debt slave than anything.
Same thing in her mind. When the party confronted the Avatar of Deep Dura about what they were doing here and asked for her explanation, Deep Dura stated that all beings, even gods, are slaves to something. Dwergar are just honest about it. So, to her, a slave is a slave is a slave.
Free yourself from your Capital One management position.
Actually, though. So, the following morn, as all of you resoundingly pass your Constitution saving throws, well done, by the way, you make it to the Nezumi trash pile. It's really, literally a massive pile of garbage. Bags, boxes, ruined parts of a fortress, a smashed house and ship here and there, all clumped together in a massive heap, with holes and little warrens dug in and out of it. As you approach, you see dozens of small to medium-sized figures dart into various bolt holes, and you can spy more than one set of leering yellow eyes peering at the trawler as it approaches.
Oh, hey, we brought them a city. Isn't that nice?
It is. So, as you near, it isn't more than 2 or 3 minutes of the trawler just kind of approaching before you all spot Forepaws make her way up to the top of the trawler. They just kind of hop over the edge of one of the walls.
Hi? I take it there's a vast distance between us. I wave emphatically.
Yeah, she comes up with 2 short swords and a blood-red glow in her eyes, and you see half a dozen Nezumi hop up behind her, also weapons drawn, clearly expecting to fight. If you think about it, they had no way of knowing that you won, and they assumed very clearly from their posture that the Dwergar likely captured you, tortured you, and beat the location of their warrant out of you.
That's how that works.
Yeah,
But
it
yeah, I
is.
emphatically wave like both hands like hello.
Yeah, as the
Jumping a
Nezumi
little
near and see all of the streaks of blood across the floor, the bits of Dwergar flesh still stuck in pieces of machinery, and the obvious horror that has transpired on this barge, justified horror to evil men, but horror nonetheless. There is a look of astonished awe and mild terror on their faces.
You can eat that meat if you want.
One of them moves towards it and begins doing so. After a few moments, Forepaws...
Dwergar.
Dwergar.
Did
There is
we?
a non-significant amount of
That's a
Dwergar
lot
meat
of-
and bits stuck in various pieces of
I
machinery.
vote we keep it. I think it's very edible.
You are the only person besides the Nezumi.
I think but the Nezumi would appreciate it. It's not cannibalism if they're a completely different species to you. No. Cannibalism is. Nana Nightshade might disagree.
Nana Nightshade was objectively evil. Anyway, so as you see Forepaws making her way across the bow of the ship, Sharpfane dives out of a corner and tackle hugs her. They roll around for a second, both hopping and skipping, showing their light and carefree side for just a moment before they both compose themselves and the bow slightly, then hug again. And then you see Sharpfane point towards probably the control room, where you guys are likely all staying. The control room offers the best look of the entire ship and is where the captain's quarters and his royal guard's quarters were. The best places to sleep on the ship, so I would assume that's where you all are staying. So,
Fair assumption.
yeah. That's such a waste of spell slots! You don't know if you're going to have an encounter.
To be fair, you don't have it today.
What
Okay.
staff do you... Oh god, I gave you a staff of power, didn't I? I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. You guys did get a legendary item from that thing. Yeah. I forgot that I forgot how to balance this game. Anyway, sure, if you really want, you can play and shift yourself back and forth if you want.
I'm good to stay. It's kind of not the worst.
Vane. That's absolutely fine.
If you wouldn't
Fine.
mind, bring back Nathara. Could use her help.
I think plane shift is one creature only, isn't it? Nathara, it's
No, you can bring back multiple. It's like up to 10 or something.
really
Mm-hmm.
shit. Fair enough. Yes, you are more than welcome to bring back Nathara. That's Starry's tiefling assistant girl.
Yep. We have to cook.
Sure. She comes in. She looks at you and says, I am familiar with the effects of the Sargasso Sea. And she just gets out a small rebreather. It looks to you and says, she nods. The following morning, Maribel returns with your assistant, Starry. Oh, by the way, Maribel, I guess we're doing this now. You're returning to your house, right? Your living quarters inside of the it's like the Grand Stadium or whatever it is for your guild, or the Civic Fest Hall. The Civic Fest Hall. That's where the entertainers all stay. In Sigil. Yeah. When you return to the Civic Fest Hall, when you get back to your private room, which has been nicely upgraded, by the way, since you have risen in the ranks, it's probably a private studio, a nice loft, that kind of thing. We'll get into actually the design of it later when you guys all, as a group, return to Sigil, and you all get to design your own strongholds. You have a package waiting for you. You actually have several packages. It's been weeks. Yeah, it's been weeks since you guys have been gone, and the wizard you have hired to make those Maribel figurines has been quite busy. You open them up. They are each package contains 20 very high quality, very realistic Maribel figurines. Several facial options for each of them. You can pop the little faces off and put new ones on. Several different hairstyles, different braiding, several different dresses for each. You know, what you would expect from a high quality anime figure. That is in 2 of the boxes, so you have 40 in total. The last box, as you open it up, something jumps out at you. It's a cat. It's hissing at you and speaking common. It has wings. It has wings, and it is labeled from the address of the the wizard you hired.
Bring me lasagna.
No. It yells, "It's all your fault. Give me a dexterity saving throw." You pass. You get a nasty scratch on your cheek that does a whopping 1 damage, but it's very clear that this cat creature was aiming for your eyes. He's dead because of you! Trollop, murderer, vain wench! And it flies up in the air, and it begins to dive at you. Sure. Sure, you wave your hand and a warbling energy teleports you to the other side of the room. The cat creature, it looks just like a normal cat, maybe slightly larger than average. A very chunky cat. It's a tabby with big fluffy bird wings and a fluffy face. Turns and looks at you and hisses and says, "If it's the last thing I'll do, I'll avenge him. It's all your fault." The cat, with tears in its eyes, says, "Jandrix," which you know to be the name of the wizard that you hired to make these dolls. She looks at you in shock that you are shocked. "What do you mean? You killed him!" Give me a persuasion check. That's not great. Okay. I was about to say, by the way, you would have failed that. The check was 17. The creature was going to say, "I'll dilate you," or something to that horrible end. Dilation, you know.
Let's go out to
she
dinner
looks at.
first.
Very funny, Evie.
Was it?
I think so. The cat. By the way, this isn't a cat. It's a creature called a Thessim, which you've played Baldur's Gate 3, right, Rebecca? You know Gale's fat companion cat that shows up sometimes? It's one of those. It's basically an intelligent cat spellcaster with wings. They are goodly creatures, similar to fairy dragons, that only make themselves familiars to goodly wizards. And she looks at you, tears in her eyes, and says, "That's not possible. I saw you. You came into his workshop and killed him." She responds to you, "The only thing I'm killing are these crowds." And you get a sending vision back, and she's currently like at a small venue, like a coffee shop, singing a quiet refrain to hipsters sipping their extra dark brews. That's all I've been doing. I did do a few signings, and I did have our lovely bodyguard beat the living shit out of a few fans that got handsy, but that's it. They didn't even die. At least I don't think so. Good God, that's terrible, you say to yourself. Your vision snaps back, and the Tressym is now closer to you, obviously in visible sorrow. And it says, "If it wasn't you, and I do believe that it wasn't you, someone took your form, and perhaps it's best if I just showed you." Place your hand upon my head. Do you pet the cat? She purrs. This cat
Aww.
literally packaged herself in a box and sent herself to you to try and avenge her dead master. She has been very sad, and God knows waiting how long in that fucking box. You pet the cat, and she literally is crying as she sends this vision into your eyes. You flash back to what was several days ago. So she's been in that box for at least a day or two. And you see the workshop. She's sitting atop a pillow that's positioned underneath of an end table, purring, looking at her master lovingly. They're talking about the work that he's been doing and how happy he is to work for such a noble star such as Maribel. Then there is a jingle at the door. The sound of clopping hoof feet can be heard as the Tressym turns its head and looks at the front door. You come walking in wearing your standard guild regalia. And there's something off about you. The height is right. The visage is right. But your eyes are wrong. They're the same color, but they carry a deep, passionless evil that looks like you're staring into the eyes of one with no soul. You come in, and you hear yourself say in a sing-songy voice that you yourself cannot differentiate from how you normally talk. And you say that you want to check in on the orders. And he says, absolutely. He goes to the back and brings out a model, and you pick it up with a wide smile and turn it end over end, and she says, "Oh yes, that looks perfect. One more thing. Remember the payment I gave you for this? Nethalar turns and says, "Do you mean the hair? Yes, it was a perfect addition to my collection. I've gotten some other stars in too. There's a vampire girl, a recent up-and-comer, a friend of yours from what I hear. She donated some too." And you wave your hand and say, yes. I wanted to see the hair real quick, just to see how it looks in your binder. If it's the same the same height, the same size. As you're saying this, the wizard looks slightly put off as you note, from the Tressem's perspective, he looks in your eyes and you see that he catches that something is wrong. You don't know if he knows that that's you or not you or not, but he definitely is put off. And he says, "If that's what you want, Maribel, sure, I'll be right back." And then you just stand there, like a statue, not looking other ways, not moving. And then he comes back around, and he looks towards the Tressym, and he just sort of subtly nods to a half-closed door around the corner. The Tressym turns and skitters while you're not looking into the door. From the crack in the closet that the Tressym is hiding in, you see yourself flip through the little binder of different memorabilia pieces he has, and you pull out the hair that you gave him. And you smile and say, "Thank you. You have done such wonderful work." And she touches him on the shoulder and brushes her hand along his cheek, almost lovingly. And he looks at her and goes, "Who are you?" Then you just tap him on the cheek with your fingernail. He steps back and his eyes go wide, and you just turn and look at the Tressym in the closet. Smile wickedly and put a finger up to your lips and do a shushing motion. And then turn and walk out holding your hair. Nethalar at this point is slouched across the back counter, holding his cheek where you just barely tapped him with your fingernail. Large pustules and boils, in moments, having erupted across his cheek and throat. He is struggling to breathe and cast a spell, but his airway has already closed from the immense swelling. The Tressim cries and jumps out, yelling, "Master, Master, I will save you." She scatters potions along the back wall and grabs one that you are imparted from her perspective, is a potion of greater healing. He unstoppers it and drinks it, but it does nothing. She grabs another potion, a potion of cleansing, which should remove any standard disease or poison effect, and even some lesser magical ones. He quaffs it, and it does nothing. He goes to pet the Tressym, but his hand falls before it can reach her. Yeah, I'm just letting you speak. No, his body swelled, and it looked like a horrible rot or some sort of disease quickly overtook his body. He quickly turned into a corpse. Pustules, boils, and other horrible maladies moved across his body at a horrific speed, and he basically rapidly decomposed. You don't know the full extent of it. The Tressym was so traumatized she grabbed a box from the room, weeping and wailing for her master, and flew out into the city streets of Sigil. The Tressym, 3 days. She shakes her head. I think it was no spell. My master prepares counterspell and dispel magic each day. If you cast some type of ability at him, unless it was subtly cast, then he would have counterspelled it. He did not even make a motion to do so. I was there. You just touched him. I see. Perhaps the members of the what is it? The Gloom Watch? You know, the people that Six is, that Neon is in. Their faction house is all about curing otherworldly diseases and maladies. Perhaps they know more. The Bleak Cabal. There is only one problem. His body has already been taken by the Dustman and his name entered into the dead book. He had no family in Sigil. I was his only companion. If he may have already been cremated. You scoop the kitty, I'm assuming. And you carry her. The Tressym has obviously been through an ordeal. It doesn't look like she's eaten in days. She's visibly shaking. Imagine a traumatized kitty. That's what you're cradling. You run across Sigil into the mortuary. And you go in, and you are known now in Sigil. You are a well-known star. As such, you are. The members, you note that both people at the front desk at the mortuary recognize you as Maribel. One of them even asks for an autograph. They say with if it's within their power, of course. Right. His name was Nethalon. They say that his corpse has been brought in and quarantined and cataloged, but he's not been processed and burnt yet. However, there is a problem. He's afflicted with at present, at least to us, unknown extraplanar disease, an infectious rot of some kind. Or maybe not an infectious rot like a fungus, more some type of pestilence. It has caused buboes to sprout out all over his body, and we fear that it could be contagious. So when we retrieved him from his workplace, we put him in quarantine. Oh, I see. That changes things. The poor front desk attendant says. He had no, what are referred to as interested or vested parties at his death, at least until now. Interested or vested parties are individuals who make claim to the corpse or potential soul of the individual after death. These are most often loved ones or family members that wish to do revivals or have specific burials. If there's no vested party, then he is typically burned and the funerary rites of whatever his respective faith is are administered. Since you are a vested party, we will put his funerary rites on hold, and you can overtake them, be them revival or actual funerary rites. Need the disease cured. Correct. We do have an appointment set with the Bleak Cabal. for them to come in, but they're scheduled for several weeks out. There are several other maladies in the city that are currently taking up their attention. So, perhaps it would be best... Perfect. Or find a private party that would be willing to investigate this for you. They shake their head. As you leave the mortuary, we're going to Batman spin back to the party. It is the day after, everyone, and Maribel has not returned yet. Because Maribel, this probably takes a good way into the night and into the morning. Don't forget, it takes several hours to cross Sigil each way. You're with a Tressym. You're going to be doing this probably for the next 2 or 3 days. So party, Maribel goes back to Sigil, saying, "I'll be back in the morning with your assistant," and she never comes back.
Huh. Well, there's literally nothing that we can do about that.
There is not.
Literally nothing. Well,
None
I
of you
mean,
even have sending.
could be some sort of time dilational sort of deal.
could be.
Maybe.
It could be. You don't know.
Oh no. All I know is, oh my goodness, am I incredibly good at investigating and pretty decent at medicine.
I know.
You know, it's kind of what my character's built around. Too bad I didn't step through that portal. Good luck.
I tried to hint at it, Emil. You heard me say.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, party. As you're...
It's your call. Okay,
Yes,
I'm
If
chilling
Maribel
here.
becomes-
I'm making items. You just
Until Maribel is
Continue.
desperate enough... That's
Now, yeah, no,
absolutely
you can-
valid.
yeah.
Absolutely
you-
valid.
You have the TARDIS ID of the Doctor, which just says "Let me in." Basically,
You do.
I am.
You actually do.
is
Like I
no
said,
joke.
your rank 25 ability is very subtly powerful.
Mhm.
Savvy, do you mind if I drink one of your Gatorades?
Oh, go for it.
Thank you.
Gatorade time.
So, party, you watch Sharpfane and Four Paws reunite on the deck of the ship. Shortly thereafter, Four Paws comes up and says thank you. She couldn't imagine such resounding success. She was expecting a quiet get in, get out with her descendant with you. She did not expect such. She looks back at the deck and with deep seriousness says, "Awesome slaughter."
Oh yeah, you can have this ship probably. I mean, it's not up to me. I mean, I'm not the de facto person that says things, but I mean, I don't think we're gonna use it after this.
Probably
What's-
belongs to slaves that have been riding on the ship at this point.
I mean, but they need protection, and I mean, they can help each other out, and I think it just works out.
Sharpfane says, "By all rights and accounts, the ship is yours. You and your devil killed the Dwergar. Myself and the other slaves are free thanks to you. As tradition and honor demands, our lives are indebted to you. And all possessions in the ship itself are yours to do with as you please."
Oh, how about we settle that with a crisp high five?
What says the rest of the
You
party?
just put it. You just raise your hand, and then you just.
The
slap
adorable
together.
rat woman
It's
high
just-
fives you.
There you
And
go.
seems entirely confused by the gesture.
There you go. Yeah, that's basically sold all your souls to me in an instant. But we don't talk about that.
What?
I'm kidding. But also not. But also totally am.
What say you, party? Do you wish to give the barge and the majority of its structural contents to the Nezumi and the slaves, or are you keeping it for yourselves?
Oh, it goes to the slaves for me.
Absolutely to the slaves, in my opinion.
This is a character decision, or this is a player decision as much as a character decision. What
No,
say you, Rebecca Bell?
I would vote the Nezumi and the slaves.
Of course.
I would again vote the Nezumi and the slaves because the slaves might just all turn to rust, and
That's true.
they can't fight for themselves. You need
The
to find a
Nezumi-
balance.
Yeah, Sharp Fane says, if the barge is given to us, I have already spoke with the slaves, and they would agree that 2 packs are stronger than a single in this place. They would join us if the Nezumi tribe would take them. Ancestor. She turns and nods and says, I was not expecting this, but I agree wholeheartedly. They will join us, and we will protect them. They scavenge, we protect. Simple. And now we have a new home that makes protection much easier. She looks at you all and says, there are not words enough for me to describe my thanks to you. You have not only saved my descendant, but also provided my people with a new, more defensible, and much safer home. I had a gift prepared for you, but I see now that it is inadequate. Please, wait here. And she skitters off the ship down one of its legs incredibly fast. She's gone for about 10 or 15 minutes, and you see her hauling a considerably sized rucksack up with her. She says, the Nezumi, when she gets back up, is sitting the rucksack down with a loud clanking noise.
Point.
As if several pots and pans and things like that rattle inside of it. She says, the Nezumi have always been excellent scavengers, the best of all of the Sargasso Sea, and I have always been particularly skilled even amongst my people. However, you all deserve more than the simple scraps of the dead and the failed. I have things from my home that I brought with me and found here. Things that I think would be very useful to all of you. She looks up at... who first? Percy. Starry. She hands something small to you. It appears to be an Oni mask-shaped incense burner. It's the shape of a small Oni's head, and where the 2 big front tusks would be are little holes for you to stick 2 pieces of incense.
Oh.
She says, do not underestimate the power of this item. It is simple, but potent. And she gives you a incense burner of yokai summoning. There are yokai spirits bound to this incense burner. It has 3 charges and regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. While holding the item, you can burn 1 incense as an action and expend 1 charge to cast the Summon Fae spell.
Oh, cool.
The Fae summons up as a friendly yokai to you.
I need to look up Summon Fae.
Yep, it's a 3rd level
Give 'em a
spell. You get to choose 1 of 3 Fae spirits to summon, and they are just yokai for you.
Dope. Thank you. I appreciate it.
She looks at you. Damn it. She looks at Starry again and says, I do not see your red-tinted friend. Here, this is for her. For Maribel, she gives... I am going to just put some dividers in here to make life easy. A Gunsen of Brightness. Gunsen are those Japanese fans that in media often are razor-edged and used as daggers.
Oh, sick.
These are martial weapons. They're considered fans, and they're a type dagger. They have the charismatic property, which says a creature makes its charisma or dexterity modifier for attack and damage rolls with this weapon. So Maribel can use her charisma or her dex. The weapon has a +1 to attack and damage rolls, and also has the properties of a gem of brightness. Yes. You can also fan dance and blind people.
Dope.
And also slash them with these, and they are not attunement.
Yeah.
She turns... What's that?
I wonder if she could throw them.
You can train for 2 work weeks and become proficient at these weapons. There are rules for that now. And we'll yeah.
How do you
So
show?
you can learn to wield them very easily, very cheaply. She turns to, Yeah, she turns to Cass and hands her a Kusarigama, or I'm sorry, this is to Savvy. A Kusarigama of climbing. It is a martial weapon. It is a whip. It has finesse and reach. So a Kusarigama, Savvy, in real life are those samurai and ninja weapons that are like a scythe with a long chain and a heavy weight on the other end. You know, they throw them and hook and catch and cut people. It's a whip for you that deals 1d6 slashing damage instead of 1d4. It counts as a +1 weapon, and it also has the properties of a rope of climbing, and can hold up to 3,000 pounds.
Nice.
So basically, you have a magical scythe chain that hooks into walls and lets you magically climb them easily. Also, non-attunement. She turns to Cass and says, I have seen your types before. Tricky and lethal. Gonna make some space. And a recipe on how to make them. She gives you caltrops of explosion.
Ooh.
These caltrops function normally, but also explode when stepped on. When a creature steps on these caltrops, if they fail the initial saving throw, in addition to having their movement speed reduced to 0, the caltrops explode, dealing 2d8 piercing damage to each creature within 5 feet of their placement. Plus the schematic rare consumable requires fire elemental salts, and she gives you 3 pouches of these.
I'm no longer jealous of the Kusarigama.
Mm.
And she turns to Neon, who I'm going to assume is here, and hands her a small scroll. She says, I have seen your kind before as well. Monks, skilled in the ways of using ki. These scrolls contain hidden arts of the Shadow Monk from my home. You will learn them nowhere else. And she gives her the Scrolls of Hidden Ninja Arts. These are class-specific ability. Come on. That are, when studied, a monk who studies these scrolls for 2 weeks can learn one of the following key abilities. You may repeat this process for each ability. So it takes 2 weeks to learn one. You can repeat as you wish. Featherfoot, you can spend a key point 1 minute. Additionally, your footsteps are completely silent and leave no footprints while this is effective. Grow Shadows. You can expend 1 focus point to cast a darkness spell without material components. You can see in the spell's area when you cast this feature. Distraction. You can expend a focus point to create a distraction. You target 1 creature you can see within 60 feet of you. The target of the ability experiences your choice of an ill-defined image on their periphery vision, or hears an imperceptible noise. And the big one, Age of Destruction. You can expend 3 or more key points to rapidly age any material by 100 years as an action. Target 1 small object or 1 cubic foot of any type of material. The type of material targeted by this ability determines the amount of focus points needed to age it. Wood, paper, and cloth require 3, stone, glass, and ceramics 4, common metals such as iron, steel, or copper 5, and rare metals such as mithril or adamantine 10. The object immediately ages 100 years, being either destroyed or rendered considerably weaker. This ability does not affect magical items. If you target a construct with this ability, you must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failure, it takes 2d6 necrotic damage per focus point expended for this ability, or half as much on a success.
Hey Sam, I
So-
think I got
Whoa.
hit with that attack this week.
Really? Oh, yeah, fair. I'm sorry. But yes, basically, Neon can enhance her monk class by reading the scroll.
Dope.
She also turns to your group and gets out something very small with great reverence. She pulls it from her coat and holds up a tiny iron key. And she says, "My clan perished shortly after a time of great and terrible troubles in my home of Cardator. Some of our more valuable treasures and great tangible wealth is still in our ancestral home that has since been filled with terrible and evil spirits. I have been content to let it sit and let the annals of time do their work. But I see now that if any should take our ancestral home and earn what ancient and powerful treasures are hidden within, it is you." And she holds up the key. "This is the only way into and out of the ancient underwarren of our people. I will also show you on the map of Cardator where it is. If ever in the future you are in need of tremendous wealth, or simply wish to rid our home of evil, I entrust its future to you." Does anyone take the key?
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll definitely see about checking out your ancestral home and freeing it and letting you know and all that. Who knows?
She nods.
Maybe you can ride the ship together there at some point.
She shakes her head. She explains that her time is over, as are that of her family. They are gone, and her home is all but destroyed. Since then, she would rather entrust it to one that have already earned the favor of her people. And since she is the last of her, basically the leaders of her clan, that would be her. I know where roughly this is on the map of Cardator. I have not uploaded it yet, but I will do so later, and I will show you where this is. Basically, there is a specific dungeon inside of the Shadowlands in Cardator that you can go to, and if you have this key, you can open basically their vault. And there are immense treasures there. Of course, it would take you a bit to get there, but still.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Indeed.
find the rat lady's name in my notes.
4 paws.
4 paws.
Sorry, I'm a little out of it.
You're good.
Yep. There we go. Oh, now I have thing. It will do stuff. Okay. Well, we should probably get to fixing the ship now. As much as I'm good at not being awkward. Thank you. Enjoy the ship. Finger guns.
Are you guys
Oh.
okay with the cool items that you got from this? Would anyone like something else? Or
Yeah, it seems fine.
I'm cool with it.
is there
See
something
with
wrong
my
with
toe
yours, Emil?
destroyers.
Yeah, I don't know if Sorry will ever use it. I don't know. I don't really find time to think about what items she might actually use.
If there's something else you would prefer, let me know. I just tried to find 3 roughly Asian, Oriental themed items
yeah,
that your
cool.
characters would find useful. And I just thought summoning critters in battle kind of. Hello.
Random music. Yes.
Yeah.
The garbage behemoth. It
Oh.
cometh over the horizon.
Oh!
Anyway,
This is some seriously intense, like, boss battle
It's
music.
pretty dope, yeah.
I like it.
I do like the idea of some giant garbage behemoth coming over the horizon.
it's not impossible. It can happen.
Oh, that's absolutely horrific. Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Intense fixing of ship noises activated.
I mean, this would also work for that. Just like a different montage of Starry putting on like the welding mask.
That's true.
Yeah. Cecilia tossing tools. They're like tossing tools back and forth. Hell yeah.
Intense repair montage.
Yeah, we're both just
Cass
sweating
is,
like crazy.
riveting panels.
The rat people are just helping out every now and then, picking up big giant pieces of metal.
Starry has like the compass and is like sweating over these pieces of paper and is just like tosses them to the side.
No!
Exasperated.
Mm-hmm. We can build it montage. Let's go.
Indeed.
Cass is pulling a net out of the ocean with her teeth that has Turtle Randy in it.
A long dead Turtle Randy. Oh.
Sad.
Oh no.
The end of the montage has her serving turtle soup to everyone.
Oh hell yeah. That's tasty. Mmm.
Fucked. But I love it.
Turtle Randy. No.
Oh no, Turtle Randy is now soup!
Slurple Randy.
Don't put me in your little ladle, oh no!
Oh no. So does anything happen within the next, I'm guessing, week? Doesn't
Um,
want to do anything besides ship fixing and building stuff like potentially caltrops that go boom? No? No, I think we should. That's
potentially.
why I'm saying it. Do we shoot back to Becca if no one has? Do we shoot back to Maribel? Unless anyone has anything else they wish to do here specifically. We do have a crazy ship fixing montage and building of different things that may or may not explode.
I think I'd like to, this seems like a good opportunity to actually draw the ship. I don't think Cass has done it yet.
Yeah, with all like the junk on board around it. Big broken spires. Things falling from the heavens.
Cass sets up her easel.
Nice. Not gonna make any more boom boom caltrops? I wonder if I can make the boom boom caltrops with the dynamite that we picked up.
I have the instructions. That's right, she gave me the instructions, didn't she?
Yeah. You have the knowledge of how to make them, as far as I'm aware.
Automatic toad decapitators.
Yikes. So Sam,
Yes.
can
Dr.
I
Shouldn'ts.
make those caltrops that go boom?
You
with
can, but
the-
you will need to find fire elemental salts.
Okie dokie.
But
Fire
yes, once you
elemental
have them, you
salts.
absolutely can.
Alright, then I'll just continue with the regular boom boom. How many days has it been that we've been cooking?
Everyone doing this is gonna have to make some
Some cook
saving
checks.
throws. But
Oh yeah. Let's all like reconvene in, I don't know,
yeah,
a sleeping area for us whenever we have to make those checks.
yeah.
That way we can at least help each other potentially.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Also, Maribel's still gone.
Yeah.
Well, true.
Yeah.
Time to make our first check. Since Maribel's been gone, I'm assuming.
So, yeah, you guys spend the day checking out your new items, repairing the ship. Nothing is going to happen for right now. No encounters have rolled. So we're going to transition back to Maribel.
Hmm.
You're going to where? Right. Sure. You go to the Bleak Cabal. Very doable. You head down, and it doesn't take you terribly long, probably just the better part of the following day. I do need you to give me a con save, Maribel, simply because you are foregoing sleep and going on to the next day. I need to see if you get a point of exhaustion. That may matter.
Oh boy.
Because you are going. No, that's fine. It's not the fact that you're exercising, it's the fact that you're, like, not sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
It's a DC 10. I'm sure you're going to be fine. You're fine. All right. So you go to the Bleak Cabal, specifically the Gatehouse. You note that there's a non-insignificant amount of people coming into and out of the Gatehouse, and they seem to be more jam-packed than usual. Specifically, the Gatehouse seems to be going through some kind of horrible contagion. That doesn't appear, at least from the outset, to have anything to do with your poor friend that has died. You see people being carted in with sheets over them, the forms underneath of which writhe and twist and move in inhuman ways. The sounds of grinding metal in a horrible, otherworldly wailing echo from deep within the Gatehouse's walls, as guards and orderlies and doctors run about hither and thither, keeping the entire place held together by the effort of the staff alone. It's chaos, in other words, when you arrive. There is a receptionist up front. It's a burrier. Those half goat people that looks frazzled. Her hair is wild. She looks like she hasn't slept in a few days, the same as you. And she's just, hello, good morning, welcome to the Gatehouse. Is your ailment immediately life-threatening? Oh no. She looks down. Okay, please describe your symptoms. She immediately puts on like a plague doctor's mask to protect herself. Oh god. As she watches the horrible transformation. I see. That's That's bad. Do you know what caused it? Do you know how that happened? I have never heard of such a thing. That is... Oh. That's not good. Okay, you best... Here, take this. She gives you a number. She said... the number, by the way, Rebecca, roll me a D20, a D100, and a D4. It's number 62. She says, sit over there. I will... Yeah, I can see that. That is concerning. We're dealing with several unknown contagions right now. None of them particularly pleasant, and unfortunately for most of our patients, few of them lethal. So please, just sit here. I will go fetch a doctor, and he'll see you when that number is called. Rebecca, roll me a d4. Takes an hour. You sit in the waiting room, and about halfway through there, you feel a sensation on your feet. It's warm. The tressum has curled up around your feet.
Baby.
It looks up at you and says, May I sit on your lap, please, miss? The tressum climbs up and curls up on your lap and falls asleep. The poor thing is exhausted. Right. You wait for a good hour, trying to resist the urge to nod off petting the cat. When finally your number is called, you're brought to the back along the office portion of the gatehouse. You're sat down in front of a strange-looking creature. It's an 8.5 foot tall fungus-like being. It is a myconid, a sovereign perhaps. Its tall, bulbous body ripples with fungal growths and various sprouts of different lichen and mushroom heads. It wears a long lab coat that is poorly fitted over its spongy form, and a small pair of oval spectacles over its little eyes that it has. It holds up a little ear horn, like the deaf people used to use back in the day, to hear, and pops it into an orifice of some kind that then begins to burst out noises. It's how it's talking to you. It says in a tinny voice, kind of small and nasally for its colossal size, I was wondering if it was actually Maribel. I see that it is. Lucky me. I hope you are not sick, my good performance. Well, that is certainly good news to hear. All of the sicknesses that have been going about the gatehouse are most unpleasant. I do not think that you would look good with metal vocal cords or strange tentacled growths coming out of your eyes. Warhammer? He tilts his head to the side, sending a little pool of spores going out of his shoulder. Oh, I saw that show. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nathalar. I see. Of course. You show him the video. Or, well, vision. Yes, yes. The minor, the minor resolution video. I mean, minor illusion resolution, whatever. You show him the illusion. He says, the clapping is interesting. That sounds like goat hooves to me. I could be wrong, though. As for the eyes, yes, that is definitely a different expression that you normally hold. At least if your shows and your present stature were to indicate. As for the transmission, it does seem to be through physical contact when you pricked his cheek, as if injecting him with a serum. It seems to take on effects rapidly. Very rapidly. Only a few moments, by the gods. It is lethal quickly. Yes, closed. It appears as though he died from asphyxiation, if I were to guess from what you showed me. Extreme inflammation and clogging of the airways from mass swelling. Pus, from the looks of it. He's also covered in buboes. By the way, above board, for those of you who are not historically inclined to the Middle Ages, buboes are the massive pus-filled nodules that people would get in real life when they contracted the Black Plague. The name bubonic plague comes from said buboes. So he
Delicious.
Yeah, a little fun fact for you right there. So he was covering these big swollen knots, essentially. I have seen things akin to this, and it would make sense that the potions he took did nothing. There was no damage to his overall physical health in the traditional sense, such as an injury, ergo the potion of healing did nothing. Additionally, it appears as though the disease was rapid and closed his airways, causing suffocation. The reason why I suspect the potion of cleansing failed to work was because of the innately magical nature of the disease. I suspect this is some kind of infernal or abyssum ailment. As you would imagine, most potions that cleanse the physical body can only cleanse specific things, most notably the most commonly encountered poisons and diseases present on the prime material planes. Sewer plague, leech eyes, red tongue, horrible gangrenous toe rotting and falling off disease. These common ailments are what these potions cure and cleanse. More alien or unique ailments simply function on a different set of rules and cannot be so easily removed. Typically, very powerful or highly specific priestly magic is required. And even then, it often requires specific items from the native plane of existence that the disease originates from to be cast alongside with the spellcasting components to properly remove it. For example, say you got a disease that came from the Nine Hells. There is an infernal version of chicken pox that can be obtained by eating infected infernal chickens. By the way, that's what Dear Mr. Man is. Not infected, but an infernal chicken. Greater Restoration would not even touch the disease. You would need to cast Greater Restoration alongside blood taken freshly from an infernal chicken, i.e., a powerful magical component from the plane that the spell or disease came from. Otherwise, your magic would have no effect. In other words, you need to... difficult to say. We would need to examine the body first, or preferably examine the creature that inflicted him. We can try. He thinks about it for a moment. If I had the body, or perhaps a sample from one of the buboes, the pustules, that are on his body, then perhaps I could cast some divination magic, or have one of our higher clerics here do such a thing. At the very least, we could ask the divine if they could identify which plane the disease comes from. It may take time, but it is doable. That is extremely ambitious. Ah, I see. It will definitely take us more than an hour to be able to cast the appropriate spells to identify the home plane of the disease. Perfect. Do you have a time frame that we need to act within? As you can see, we are quite busy. Why the specific time? Don't worry about that. He'll wave his hand left and right. He slides you a small form that says, sign these here. It's a basic quarantine flyer and a permission to treat and contain on the other side. Signing this will allow us to take possession of the body temporarily under your supervision. And we have magics that will maintain the body past the 6 days for your resurrection magics. And since you are a friend of the guild through your friend Neon, and also well known in the city, being who you are, and your level of fame and, well, contributions to the overall public good, we will be happy to cast Spare the Dying continuously on them. So you would have all of the time, and we would have all of the time needed. Of course. You sign it, and he says, I will have this sent over, and I will personally send some of my, he almost says spore servants, associates, over to obtain the body. They are undead, you see, and whatever disease or malady that has affected your friend will be of no threat to them. He will be placed into a standard quarantine cart and brought into our deep quarantine section. He will be perfectly safe, or his body will be. From there, we will continuously cast Spare the Dying on him. He will not rot or decay at all, and the disease should also be maintained by the same effects. So you have no worry of time. I tell you this because in all likelihood you will need to travel to the home plane from which his disease originates from and obtain something of relative connection to it. And unfortunately, we have no free associates to do that. But I know your friend Neon. She is quite the experienced planet traveler and a member of our guild. As such, I could think of no one better to go into whatever plane is required to find this cure and obtain it. Doing so would also, of course, award her a great deal of prestige and renown in the guild. Of course, and of course, again, you have all the time that you need within, relative reason. Thank you again for bringing this to our attention. If this is a dangerous and transmutable disease, it is good that it is in our care. Every disease that we find a cure for and identify can save future patients. Your work here is helping those beyond you and your friend. Of course. Well, we will get to... It's like Kizarax, I think, or something like that. Something like that. I have it written down. It's in my notes. He's important for a few quests, but I know who you're talking about. Sure. That is true. But I would say this to you, my dear friend. Whatever this creature is, we know a few things about it. It can transmit highly virulent diseases with but a touch and no spell casting. It has cloven feet of some kind, or at least feet that create a hoof and sound when impacting floor. And also it can change shape, but its eyes still had a look of absolute deadness to them. Just keep these things in mind for your search. Difficult to say. Creatures that can fully shapeshift. Hard to tell from what you showed me. The Thessum did not look at the thing until after it heard the sound of its footfalls. It could have theoretically shape-changed after entering. Either way, you have my best wishes, though. We will take good care of your friend. Well, as good care as can be given to one who has already passed. The Myconid sovereign bows. The body is in quarantine. I will not be able to stay with it, but I think I would like to stay somewhere safe, and preferably with you. You have shown my master kindness and respect, the likes of which I could not have asked for or dreamed of. Here, and she hands you a little, it looks almost like a coin, but it's a tag or a collar on a pet, and you see that it mirrors the one that she's holding. It is my name tag. It belonged to my master. My name is Mara, and if you have that, you can summon me as an astral companion. Yes, you now have the enhanced summon familiar spell that Neon uses to summon Dear Mr. Man, and Savvy uses to summon her iBot. You can now learn the summon familiar spell that can summon this Tressum, Mara. She can also attack and has enhanced abilities compared to normal find familiars, and will stay your companion so long as you treat her well. She tells you, I think I'm going to... Do you have anywhere particularly safe that I could stay while you're out adventuring? Mara nods and says, I will become a cat of the guild then. Yes it is. By the way, Tressum are beautiful, adorable little critters. They are literally flying kitty cats. I'm going to post some pictures of Tresem in hype material. That's an old, gruff-looking Tresem. Here are some Tresem around a magical Fey tree. Your Tresem looks like the one in the top left of this image. It's the fat one with the fluffy tail. My favorite one is personally the very top one, the old raggedy ass, gnarled ear. I'm always grumpy. Yes, you can now cast the Find Familiar spell and summon a Tresem. Oh, Tresem are not as combat powerful as other pets, but host a unique skill set. It is surprisingly impressive. They have a flying speed of 40 feet, AC of 12, HP of 5, so about aligned with a standard cat. It has detective visibility. Within 60 feet of the Tresem, magical visibility fails to conceal anything from the Tresem's sight. You can cast it as a familiar if the DM allows, which I have. You get the enhanced one too, just like Dear Mr. Man. The Tresem has advantage on checks to rely on smell, and it can magically detect whether a substance is poisonous by taste, touch, or smell. Ooh, I actually like the D&D's canon image for a Tresem. They're very pretty from the book. Kinda, but I like the fat, fluffy Tresem. Mara. Yes, you can now summon the Tresem as a companion. They will join you in combat, and if they die, they are not actually physically harmed, and the astral image that you summon of them just dissipates. Just like Dear Mr. Man. Yep. I didn't even intend that. I didn't. I might have. I came up with it on the fly, but maybe. Maybe. Well, you have a Tresem. What? Oh, you're gonna kidnap Starry. Right. Okay. You sleep. The party does downtime for a day. Let's check my counter chart to see if anything happens. I don't think so. No. On the third day, party, give me another round of con saves, please. Save Maribel, who isn't on the plane and bypasses the effects. Pass. Pass.
Don't gotta.
Oh, that's right. You're blessed. Then I'll roll for Neon. Pass. Okay. You guys are well on your way to repairing the ship. The Nezumi and the slaves make quick home and habitation of the Walker. They carry in piles of junk and debris, family knickknacks, and all sorts of clutter, garbage, and supplies and foods and materials from their little warren into the Walker. Yeah, you guys spend the day doing that. On the morning of the fourth day, Maribel, if my timeline is correct, pops in magically, looking, I would hope, much better rested. Good. Starry, Starry, you are in the ship at your workbench, building dynamite or whatever particular little gadget or what have you you're working on today. And Maribel comes screaming your name up along the front of the bulkhead of the ship. Sans your alchemist companion.
Oh, hey, Murray. Whatever happened, I did not touch your hair. That was not me. That must have been somebody else.
Technically, she touched her hair.
That wasn't me. It wasn't me. I swear, I've been here. I've been working. I don't even know where the hell you've been. I'm so sorry for whatever has happened. It's not my fault.
I think our artificer doth protest too much.
You seem very, very agitated. I'm just covering. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. No, I didn't touch your hair. I'm not a hair toucher. I've just been making dynamite. I'll find out who it was. We'll get them. They won't have limbs after this. Starry is turning blue as you are dragging her from her neck, which is.
I will let you know. You guys have several options here. The party can, as a group, go with Maribel on what appears to be a minor emergency. Or the party may split and people may stay here, and people may go with Maribel.
I think Cass sees Mari just like barging in and grabbing Starry in a flurry of shouts and everything, and just thinks to herself, I want no fucking part of whatever is going on there.
Fair.
That's fair.
Totally.
Cecilia, will you be staying with the ship and Neon and Cass to work on repairs, or will you be going with Maribel and Starry, involving whatever the fuck is going on?
I think I need to stay with the ship. I am one of the ship repairers.
All right, the party has now officially split in twain, with Starry and Maribel, Starry Bell as we can call them, heading
Starry
back
Bell.
to Sigil, and the rest of the party remaining back at the ship. Okay,
Classic composition.
classic. Party. I have rolled encounters. Nothing is going to happen on the ship for 2 more days. On the 4th day, on the 6th day, something may happen. So we are going to quickly go over what Maribel and Starry are going to do in Sigil for 48 hours. And the party, the rest of you, may describe what you're doing on the ship besides repairing the ship for those 2 days. So, Maribel, Starry, what will you guys be doing? You're heading back to Sigil, obviously. What are you doing after you get back?
Okay, so you're saying that our friend was poisoned, our wizard friend, and... Oh, yep, sure.
Murderated.
There was... Yes, so there seems to be some sort of device, potentially, that was used to inject our fair friend. Have you checked the crime scene? Oh, okay. So we're gonna check the crime scene for any additional clues and see if we can find a vial that may or may not have something to inject people with. Okay. Alright. And you said they changed shape? Oh, dear God! Zoop. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh God, that's the first time you've plane shifted with me, and she vomits a little bit. I wasn't expecting it. I'm sorry. I had other things on the line. All right. It's okay. It's okay. All right. What we're gonna do? We're gonna see if we can find the implements, and then we're gonna. You said that they could change shape. Goat hooves. Now that doesn't fit. Okay. All right. I was thinking initially that it could just be the guy that summoned the demon cat person that can change shape or something. I think a Rakshasa could very easily purchase a disease from somewhere in the Undercity. They have connections that are generally duplicitous in nature. I don't know.
Starry, give me a history check or a general intelligence check.
Oh, dude, my history check. I'm going to go ahead and burn my heroic inspiration I get once a day, and I'm going to re-roll that, even though that's an insanely good number.
It is.
What is D20? Don't. There,
You
so that is a 12
flash-
plus 12 for a 24 plus.
It's enough.
3,
You
20.
flash back, Starry. You flash back towards the events that happened immediately after you guys got done inside of the tree. Remember? You guys went back to your ship. Things were off. Your bug companion was dead. And people had rifled through your ship, taking personal items and effects. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And they took... You pointed out specifically that they were taking things like hair follicles, or I'm sorry, skin follicles, hair, nail clippings, food that you had eaten off of. And there was a person there with them, the demon that haunts your character, that horrible thing that took your grandmother, that you
Oh.
know, as you remember that horrible, terrible night when Nana Nightshade threw you through that portal, the sound of cloven feet clip-clopping across the wood floor of her hut.
I'm so sorry, Maribel. I didn't mean to drag you into this. Maribel, Starry pulls out a little book. This little book is filled with each and every single one of her nightmares that she's had. And she pulls out a quick description of a hooved creature that chases her almost every night in her dreams, in her nightmares.
Your depiction of it, Starry, likely taken from your memories, your earliest ones, of that horrible night at Nana Nightshade's. It was the sound of rasping on the door, and for the first time that you could remember, Nana Nightshade looking afraid. She tells you to hush, and ushers you into the back room, maybe a kitchen. It's separated by a partition of a blanket over the entryway. And you see her open the door, and a tall, horrible darkness lies beyond. The rain is coming down in sheets, and this thing stoops down low and steps up into the hut. 9 feet tall or more, hunched, with a thick, ratty, mud-covered cloak pulled tightly over its bulbous and malformed frame. One shoulder up higher than the other, and a hood pulled over its long, strange face. You never got to see a good look at its face itself. The only thing you can remember is deep, yellow-red eyes peering out from this cloaked, cowled face, and ram-like horns poking out of the edge of the cowl. Cloven hoofs clop across the floor in long, white, corpse-white hands stretch out from draped down in soggy sleeves. Black nails that constantly twitch as its fingers undulate like spider legs, as it hisses deep, clicking whispers to Nana Nightshade. Their conversation lasted only a few minutes before it demanded something. It moved quickly towards her, and that's when Nana ran to you, telling you to run and shoving you through a portal, slamming that mask in your hands before you went. That was the last that you saw of Nana Nightshade, the visage of this horrible, towering thing behind her comparatively small frame as you fell into Sigil.
I think about that almost every night. Different variations and different spaces. And I know that it can see through reflections. It might be able to watch us even right now through any reflections that might be in the room.
I'm assuming you guys are inside of his shop, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there in the shop, you guys, it's obviously quarantined and blocked off, but you explain who you are, who you're working with. Maribel basically flashes the Maribel name badge, and you guys get let through. You see, Maribel, with flashing, you can get anywhere in the city. As you're...
God damn it, Sam. Oh, no. Not Becca, too.
Hi, Twitch!
Oh,
Her name badge is
I-
what she meant. Her name badge.
Her name, yeah.
I do want to say the only place flashing will get Cass is prison.
Oh.
Probably. Public decency laws for people that look like Cass. Sigil's a very unfair place. Anyway. You're able to flash your name badge and they let you inside pretty easily. The place hasn't as much been touched since the incident. Behind the counter below the shelves were figurines and wood carvings and knickknacks and toys and what this inventor wizard made in his spare time for sale. Lies across the wall a streak of black stain where the body was. Pus and ooze and rot, literally seeping corruption, has already soaked its way into the walls and floor where he lay. Otherwise, the entire room is empty. The room is filled with them to an extent. Not mirrors exactly per se, but mirrored surfaces. All of the finer figures are in well-polished, reflective display cases. Some of the horizontal display cases where there's like figures from different positions have mirrors on the stands for the figures, showing them from different angles. Not like a lewd or creepy way, like peeking under skirts or some shit like that, but just so you can see the model from like different sides when purchasing. It's not like the place is filled with mirrors, but it's a shop. There's reflective surfaces everywhere.
He had a high chance of... He's always watching. Anything that he can get to get a hand up. Likely.
As you say that, Maribel, I need you to give me a Constitution saving.
Don't say things like that, Maribel.
By all means. It is better, but it is not enough. Maribel.
Starry will put her hand over Maribel's mouth as she begins to say anything using giving her a +4 to that roll with her intellect thing.
21 is better, so Maribel, you will take half damage from this. You feel a twitch in your chest. almost like, you know, that like tugging feeling of your skin and your muscles whenever you pull a muscle a little bit just before the agonizing pain sets in, where your muscle jerks and spasms a bit. You feel that, as if your muscles under your skin and even around your bones are pulled and moved. And then your skin bursts open from the inside out. You take 20 damage as it looks like you're stabbed from the inside, and an invisible prong of blood, literally as if a dagger burst from the inside of your chest out, covered in blood. That you like, the dagger is invisible, but the blood is coating it in seen. Then it pulls itself out, and your chest just has an open wound in it, and 20 damage to your HP.
Maribel, you can't say stuff like that. You can't say stuff like that, Maribel. He'll know. They'll know. It'll know. Don't
That's
say
exactly
anything
what's
bad
happening.
about him. Don't say anything. Stop saying anything bad about him, Maribel.
You look around in the room, Maribel. Give me an investigation or a perception check.
I'll give you the help action with it. There you go.
15. You look around, and yeah, there's a door that's open into a bathroom. You know how like some little shops will have like a single like little powder room, right, with a toilet and a sink and a mirror, you know, just off to the side of the entrance typically. You see that. You look to the right, and there is a mirror directly to your side, half in shadow, because, you know, the room isn't lit. The only light in the room is coming in from the outside lit city streets. So it's just mirror half in shadow in this dark room, and you see yourself staring back in the mirror. And it's you. Looks just like you, except its eyes. They are dead and soulless, as if looking into that of a corpse. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, it's... So, you can see it, and... Interesting. Yeah, you absolutely can. You can target it. You can target the creature. It does have a type of cover, but the way Psychic Glass Lance works, and the way you're casting it right now, it will let you target it. That is how Subtle Cast works. You are seeing it. It's like seeing it behind a pane of glass. So you're targeting a creature that you can see with a spell that doesn't require like direct, continuous, like line of tracking. You're not shooting a firebolt at it. You're targeting its mind that you can see. So roll damage. It will roll back. It's got to make a save.
Damn.
Interesting. I don't think it passes that. But it's it's a wisdom save. It's an intelligence saving throw. 8 plus that. It actually does pass. This is one of the final bosses of the campaign you're targeting, so yes, it does. It has proficiency in that save, and it has a 27 in that modifier.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are fucking with a serious monster here. It does still take half the damage, and you see your eye twitch, and then you hear a voice in the back of your mind, and it's cold and distant, emotionless. And it says, let us play. Slashing. Or I'm sorry, piercing, technically. It says,
20 piercing.
I'll play. Give me a wisdom saving throw as it uses its reaction.
This is a whole nother turn order.
It's a no, it technically it did its thing to Maribel. Maribel went next in the initiative order. You're helping in there somewhere. Maribel cast her spell. It is using its reaction.
Okay, so I don't have a reaction yet, right?
I'll say yeah, you can. If you want to use your reaction, you can. That's fine. We're not in explicit turn order here. I didn't expect her to actually fucking attack the thing.
Yeah, no, that's a bad idea.
We're just kind of rolling with the shots here. Maribel, you feel a wave of anguish roll over you.
What did
You
roll,
feel
by the way?
absolutely filled with distant, horrible malaise and despair. You take... It is a spell-like effect. It is just a thing that these things can do. You take 49 psychic damage and are afflicted with the... Oh yeah, you take... you're resistant, that's right. You
That's
take
good.
half of that. And you are afflicted with the curse of malaise. You are hopeless. You find no joy in life in anything. You have disadvantage on wisdom saving throws to attempt to find hope in various situations. Basically, if you have to overpower will, or if you have to pull from yourself for wisdom, for those kinds of checks, you have disadvantage. And you're filled with despair. This effect is permanent until dispelled.
Bro, look at me. We need to go. We need to go right now. We need
You
to
just
leave.
see this paleness roll over Maribel. It's literally as if the life and hope is drained from her skin. You turn, Starry, and we'll say it's your turn now. You see this mirror. You see this Maribel staring back at your friend. You see its eyes. You know those eyes. You are staring at the thing that has haunted your nightmares. The thing that butchered Neon's family, her entire clan. The thing that took the most powerful person in the world to you. It is but a mirror's pane of glass away.
Starry doesn't freeze. She immediately begins thinking of a way to break line of sight with this thing, with Maribel.
Easiest way would be to break the mirror, or get out of the room.
Can I drag Maribel out of the room? Is there any shot at that?
You probably could if she doesn't resist you.
I begin immediately trying to drag her.
Yeah, Maribel, you have a magical affliction of the sads. You get pulled out of the room. Yeah, you that literally it has a reaction called Consuming Despair. Upon being damaged by another creature that this creature can see, it may use its reaction to afflict it with soul-wrenching despair. They must make a wisdom saving throw, or what happened to Maribel happens. They take a fuck ton of psychic damage and just are sad.
You need to tell it that you're sorry. You need to tell it that you submit. You need to tell it that you're sorry. You need to tell it that you submit. You need to give up, Maribel. You need to give up. There's nothing that you can do. There's nothing that we can do right now.
Yeah, Maribel, you're outside. We'll say the initiative and combat's over. But that, yeah, you.
It'll come for you. Oh,
There you go.
oh.
Now you're talking.
Is that the Canadian pronunciation of sorry?
Sorry?
Sorry? I think so.
Sorry?
Sorry?
Sorry? I don't know.
I'm sorry.
That's how Emil says it
There
sometimes.
you go. Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry. And I just
So-
know we say water. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Starry
It's better
continues to trying to drag her and cries, making very little distance away.
Yeah, it's better than we Ohioans. We call the living room the living room. Living.
Sounds alive.
Living.
Living.
Like Lythn. Living room.
Living.
Yeah, there you go. Not living room, which is correct. Shit like that.
Some other kind
Anyways.
of crazy abomination.
It's better than us Hoosiers who call Indiana a place to live.
Oh, right.
That's very funny.
Hmm.
I feel the same about Ohio right now. Fuck that
Okay.
hellscape. Anyway. So you pull Maribel out into the street. Maribel, you've got just the straight up depressies magically suffused in you. Starry, you know that Maribel has effectively been cursed. You can see it in her, a magical effect visibly washed over her body that drained the Keller from her body, making her pallor. You know, she's corpse-like in her complexion. As if she's been sitting in a cold, empty cave for months. The Keller is just gone from her. The hope drained from her eyes. Her eyes look similar to that thing's in this situation, actually, in a horrible, distant way. And Maribel just is super lethargic and depressed. I don't typically like to speak for characters, but this is a magical effect forcing Maribel to be this way.
Yep. If it's my turn again, I cast Fly and hopefully try to rocket her
Nice.
and I to somewhere where we can remove Curse.
Yeah, that's
the
absolutely
best
fine.
I got.
No, you're good. That's actually valid. Rebecca, get
Oh,
a
wait,
point
is it-
for accurate roleplay. That's what
It's-
that spell is supposed to do.
it's
It makes
remove
it saps
curse.
your willpower.
Let's remove
saps your-
Curse, not dispel magic.
Yeah, spell magic wouldn't work anyway. But Rebecca's playing the character as the curse would affect them.
Oh, yeah,
Maribel
you do
sees
good.
no hope in
Oh, yeah.
anything, no purpose or point. She is empty. So she wouldn't try to cure herself because why does it matter? So yeah, it's gonna kill me anyway.
I'm gonna get it. It's gonna be okay. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you take Maribel to the gatehouse, where you can buy a remove curse spell for a nominal 200 gold.
Let's give it a go.
Yeah, they take the gold. They sit her down, and the burrier that walks out. The burrier walks out with what looks like a cudgel, you know, like an old world
Oh,
baseball
no.
bat, and it says across the side "decursing stick," and it
Uh-huh.
whacks Maribel on the back.
Mhm.
It casts remove curse on her. A poof of energy blast from Maribel's chest. Maribel, you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage, and the curse is removed from you. It's gone.
Rebel, please come back to me. I'm shaking you.
Oh God! Yeah, she whacks you. The curse magic flies out of you, and you hear a tink and a clack as a tooth hits the opposite wall. Just kind of rolls around on the ground.
Rebel, you okay? You okay, Maribel?
Why are you hitting me?
Oh. We need to remove the curse. I don't think it's gone yet. Gotta hit her again.
The burrier nods and lifts the stick.
Oh. Oh, sweet sheep.
The burrier looks down and says, "Yeah, see, the anti-cursing stick, very effective. Whack the curse right out." You could probably enchant one. It's straight up just a stick that is a bludgeon. You hit a creature with it, and it has 3 charges. You can expend a charge to cast remove curse on a creature you strike with the stick.
By the way, you guys take a loan, right? Because I have 67 gold, not exactly 200. Oh, thank God.
Thank you. I take it. And the very Swedish burrier clippity clops away.
Maribel. No, don't stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Maribel.
Above board.
This is the
Neon's
same.
thing?
This is the
Yeah.
same thing. This is the.
He is the big bad of both Neon and Starry's personal quest. You need to do both. That's true, but above board, so everyone's
does.
clear. You will need to do both. Sure, that's fine.
Sorry, we'll let you know that right now. It's the same person.
Yeah, but would you like
I don't know. I really
Emil.
have no idea.
would you like to know his CR?
Is it like fucking 26 or some shit?
You're very close.
Oh, 27?
Yeah.
Damn. Damn. Oh, we got no shot.
You guys you
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 survived
forget.
one round of him using his passive on you.
did. That's true. He did. That's fair. I will say this, Rebecca. He was playing with you. He was not attempting to kill you. He was letting you know he was there. You did. By the way, That's true. But I will toot my own horn. I love his response. I'll play. Flick.
Oh boy. I'll play.
That's
no,
fair.
you're not dying. You're not dying.
you-
You're not dying.
We can die as much as I want.
Oh. There's worse things than death, Maribel.
Oh yes.
That's
The
fair.
best kind of punishment doesn't require killing.
Thank you.
Those
Yeah.
videos are so fucking good.
Right? They're amazing. The
My
best kind.
favorite one is the Banshee one. It's so fucked.
Yeah.
You'll do. You'll. 2?
Oh.
Okay.
You don't know its name. You kind of saw it.
You don't know his name, but you do know of him. That is enough. And I'll say that I'll allow it. Bold move, Cotton. I'll allow it. What do you say?
What?
Oh, that is perhaps the most interesting thing you could have ever said to this creature. It says... It
boy.
responds.
It's not a friend.
It says, "You intrigue me." Very well. And then you get coordinates. You
It's gonna-
get a location in the city, no less. In the Undercity. In the
Maribel,
Undercity.
he's gonna make you hurt people that are innocent, and also maybe your friends.
It's in a room in the Undercity in an old crypt, easily forgotten and overlooked. A pauper's cemetery, where the dregs of the city are dragged down and disposed of unceremoniously before the days of the Dustman Guild. Easily forgotten, there is a room. And in that room, there is a chest with a magical seal. He gives you the incantation to open it. He says, "For inquiring minds such as yours, a gift freely given. Seek it." And that is all he says.
We
You
still
want to do it
haven't
now? You got
finished-
time. It's in the city. Won't take you more than a
haven't-
few hours.
We haven't finished investigating the murder area. I didn't even. I kind of don't, but I also know that if we want to make some progress, I probably need to. Well, no, we got that part down, but the strain that he used to infect our wizard friend, that we do not have, and that would be linked to the vial, and the vial is almost certainly still there somewhere. I'm certain there was a vial. It could have been. I'd have to inspect the body to be sure. Fair. I mean, either one. I could either inspect the body to see if it was an injection by some sort of instrument, or if it was a nail or something like that. Or I could check the area and confirm that my suspicion that I'm very certain is the case. I don't want to go alone.
Starry,
you.
give me, because you guys know, I believe in canon, what he is. I believe Neon sussed that out at some point. The type of demon he is. I believe. Early on, we talked about it.
You want to roll for me?
No, I'm just confirming that with the party. Neon discovered the kind of demon this was.
So?
Yes, she did. You know that he is what is called a Beornoloth, the first ones. Legends say that they were some of the first demonic entities ever birthed into existence. Their origins are different depending on which demonic race you ask. Devils say that they made the devils, that they were the first children from Asmodeus. The Yugoloths say that they were the first evils birthed into creation and designed devils and demons themselves. Demons say something else entirely, that the first Beornoloths were in fact the first demons themselves and split off like growths from them. No one knows if any of those are true, or if so, which one is correct. But there is no question that they are the ancient. They are the first. They are the origin of demon and devil kind. They literally designed Yugoloths themselves. There can never be any more. To your knowledge, there's never been any less. They cannot procreate. They cannot multiply. Each Beornoloth that is in existence today is the same ones from the Dawn era. They are horrible, ancient things, and no two are the same. But they all are associated with pestilence, death, hopelessness, and the origins of evil on a philosophical level. Each seeks to find the true nature of evil and embody it themselves. Starry would know from the roll you made that it is very likely that there was no vial. This thing likely touched him and did that.
Okay. I take it back. We're looking for an incredibly ancient strain of liquid death.
It's very likely that this thing just touched him. Yeah. Do you tell him it's a Beornoloth disease? He just responds, "Oh God, no." And then responds again, "I will begin researching." Yeah, Starry, the plot is happening. It's It's not likely a cure for the Bjornoloth. It's a cure for just what he exudes. It's it would. Oh God, yes. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be an effort to do so. Don't worry. This is tied into Neon's quest. Don't worry.
Yep.
Well, you guys got that. So do you want to go and investigate the crime scene more, or do you want to go Okay. You guys go down into the Undercity. Typically this would be filled with like encounter rolls and things like that, but I don't want to drag this out anymore because we have other players here doing their own things over the next few days. You guys get down, find the pauper's grave. It's literally piles of bones in an old, unmarked cemetery underground. Long, twisting caverns bend and warp in strange ways. Hundreds of bodies from Sigel's long past, dumped in here unceremoniously, forgotten. In the very back, there is a simple stone chest, unlocked but held with a magical rune, the answer of which you know. You nearly speak the word gloam. There is a and the rune disappears, and a sucking sound of air rushing into the chest as the lid opens very slightly. You open it. Inside is a small, wrapped parcel. It's a book of some kind. It is wrapped in a strange, pocked, like chicken-skinned, leathery wrapping. Give me a history or insight check, Maribel.
I am there too. I will do a history check since I'm there.
That is plucked and aged angel wing.
I got a 35. Let's go.
It's a plucked angel wing that has been skinned and used as a wrapping. It crumbles away, and inside is a foul manuscript with black pages, I'll just put a picture of it inside of the material Discord. It's this book.
Oh, it's no.
That is exactly it.
Oh.
A tangible, palpable weight of evil. True, endless evil. It sits in your grasp.
I don't think we should touch that. I think
you both know this book. There is no check needed. This book is an infamy. It is like the real-life version of the Hammer of Witches. Anyone in the knowledge of grimoires knows what the fuck it is. It's or the Lesser Key of Solomon. It is the actual Book of Vile Darkness. And this thing By the way, this isn't me entirely pulling this out of my ass. Unironically, canonically, the Book of Vile Darkness shows up in this campaign at a scripted event. I've just moved it.
I don't think I should read it, but I kind of really want to read it, but I also know I shouldn't.
You have it.
Yep. Yes, I guess we whip it open. We read that sucker.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we both just, like two kids, just open this book up on our laps. And we're just reading through it together. Oh no.
You do have it. You may attempt to open it and read it if you would like. I will ask you, do you want to do that?
I mean, if we're gonna do it, we might as well do it together.
I am going to let you know that I am going to abide by the rules of the new Dungeon Master's Guide as written. This is the part of the game where the Dungeon Master officially says, "Are you sure?" And I have not done that in this campaign because you fuckwits are immortal. However, in the words of the immortal Starry, there are things worse than death. Are you sure you open the book?
Maribel, do you want to open it with me? It seems like it's calling to us.
I'm muting myself.
Okay.
Oh God. Okay.
You hold the left side, I'll hold the right side.
You open the book.
Hell yeah.
A utterance goes through the world, and nature cannot abide by this. The few pieces of natural fungal life clinging to this tomb, lichens across the walls, little mushrooms in the corner, instantly die. The book magically and violently attempts to attune to each creature that opens it instantly. It's going to do this to each of you one at a time, starting with Starry. Starry, give me a charisma saving throw.
Oh, I'll fail that. Failed.
Starry. Or Maribel. You immediately see Starry scream in pain. Her mask falls to the floor. Starry, you are instantly turned into a fiendish larva.
There you go.
Maribel, give me a charisma saving throw.
Unfortunate that that I ended up going first. I could have helped you with this. Oh.
Maribel.
Okay. That's a good point.
I don't want you to not win this either. Oh, thank God you pass. Although not... Yeah, you pass. Not by as much as I would... That's true. Maribel, you pass. You are instantly attuned to the book. Although your body and mind violently try to immediately reject it. Because the book wants to be attuned to by an evil creature. Non-evil creatures can attune to the book, but it feels wrong. Every ounce of your body crawls with revulsion. It's like every follicle wants to puke all at once, but you can't. You get a bunch of benefits now that you're attuned to the fucking book. You must spend 80 hours reading and studying the book to digest its contents. You get, once you do, you adjust your ability scores. You get a tireless form. You get to learn vile lore, and you get vile speech, and you can cast a bunch of spells. There are over 10 different properties to the book that I have to roll for. For right now, choose an ability score. No, an ability score that you want to increase by 2. Your charisma goes up by 2. Choose an ability score that you do not want to go up.
Strength.
Con. I'm kidding. Strength. Your strength decreases by 2. Your strength decreases by 2. I'm gonna have you. I'm gonna I'm just gonna copy and paste the whole fucking description of the Book of Vile Darkness because there's no like curses or hidden bullshit to the book. It's just the book. You have the book and you know what the book does immediately. The book will remain attuned to you so long as you strive to work evil in the world. If you fail to perform at least one evil act within a span of 10 days, or you willingly perform any good act, the book may choose to disappear from your possession and immediately end your attunement. If you die while attuned to the book, an entity of great evil claims your soul. You can't be restored to life by any means while your soul is imprisoned. Yep, Starry is just a larva.
Eek, eek, eek.
I'm just gonna copy and paste the stats of the book. And I don't even feel bad about giving this to you. You would have literally gained this shit later on anyway. Like I said, it's in the campaign. This is a level 20 eventually campaign. You guys just got it a little early.
Level 10. Hell yeah.
You really, really are. At least in this case. I really hope not. You can just choose to deattune from the book. There's really not any like punishment for just. No, it is the player's choice. Again, the Book of Vile Darkness remains with you only as long as you strive to work evil in the world. If you fail to perform at least one evil act within a span of 10 days, or if you willingly perform a good act, the book disappears. Your attunement to it ends, and you lose all benefits granted by it. If you die while attuned to the book, the entity of great evil claims your soul. You can't be restored to life by any means while your soul remains imprisoned. Here's all the benefits it gives you. You are going to roll for the major beneficial and minor beneficial and detrimental properties. Rebecca, roll me 3 D100 for the minor beneficial properties. Okay. 16. You gain proficiency in a skill of my choice. You have proficiency in the medicine skill. Actually, I'm just gonna do one of these. Poor fucking Neon is gonna come back and be like, "The Book of Vile, excuse you."
Hmm.
Roll me another D100. You got the same one twice. Is why, and that's boring. God damn it! I'm just gonna pick one. You rolled the same one 3 times. I know. You gain the chill touch cantrip. And medicine. And then what was the other one? 92. Fuck me running. You have a permanent +1 to your AC. Yeah, look, Neon's typing already. Roll me another D100. $20. I want to be funny and meme about this, but it's serious. You got this. While tuning the artifact, your ability score of the DM's choice increases by 2 to a maximum of 24. Your charisma goes up by 2. I was going to say con and say your boobs get bigger, but again, this is serious. Alright, now for the bad stuff. Give me 3 more D100s, please. 10, 6, and 7. Probably. Actually, no, not as much. There are more detrimental properties than good ones. Okay. You have disadvantage on all ability checks and saving throws involving strength or constitution. While attuned to this artifact, you have disadvantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws.
Oh wow.
These are the minor detrimental properties. And yes. And you have lost your sense of smell. Now roll me 2 more D100s. Mm-hmm. Alright. 16 and 3. Thank God those will be different. Okay, 60 and 3. The artifact dilutes potions within 10 feet of itself, rendering them non-magical. You cannot use potions, essentially. And you said 3? You can't attune to any other magic items while you're attuned to this artifact. When you become attuned to the artifact, your attunement to other magical items ends immediately. It is a jealous and fickle bitch, this book. There you go, Rebecca. You have the Book of Vile Darkness. It is in your possession and you are attuned to it. There is a call in your soul. The book whispers to you. You hear a voice in the back of your mind as this book is a living thing, the embodiment of evil in the universe. It says to you, I can tell you who has your sister. I can tell you who killed your friend's family. I can tell you who took their grandmother. I can teach your friend how to forge the soul that she so desires. And I can tell your other friend where to find the quarry of her lineage. You need merely read me and learn.
You know, there's no doubt. You should totally do it.
Visions flash through your mind, screaming souls in the depths of every hell. Tortures beyond imagining. The wearing down of a soul to its most basic emotions. Pain, horror, and then nothing at all. The book promises you this, and so much more. All it asks is that you further the simple cosmic truth that all things fall to evil, and that in the end, even hope in light will die. So long as you follow this, all it knows is yours. Jesus fuck, Rebecca, what the hell is wrong with you? Sure. Gotcha. Uh-huh. I gotcha. I see that. I gotcha. Well, the book will not abide by good, and it demands that you commit consistent evil. Just keep that in mind. The book, otherwise, is shockingly chill. The Book of Vile Darkness. By the way, again, DM not being insane by this. It's in the fucking book. I can point to the page number. I literally just took it from, like, in one location, which, by the way, above board, a Beortaloth, not your guys' Beortaloth, but a different one that you meet, can give it to you. I literally just went, bloop, and stuck it here. Starry is indeed a soul maggot.
Eek, eek, eek. The maggot purrs to you. Purr,
book
purr,
whispers-
purr.
The answer is simple. You see a vision of yourself lifting Starry above your head and snapping it in half over your knee. It will. Soul Larva have 2 health.
Purring noises.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god! You commit friendicide. You live.
Friendicide.
I will say there are other ways to save him, but this is just what the Book of Vile Darkness, I will repeat that. This is what the Book of Vile Darkness tells you is
It's
how
a
to
good
save.
suggestion, honestly. Like, it's not a terrible suggestion.
It is the most immediate and expedient answer to your
There
question.
you go. There, see, that's honest. Sometimes, yeah, that's it.
You lift Starry up above your head.
No.
By the way, Emil, ahead of time, I'm sorry. You lift
What? Ahead
you
of time.
lift Starry above your
Interesting.
head, and you bring them down with a sickening crunch. As you do so, I'm going to take liberty with the ability that is your respawn, and it can take up to 5 minutes for them to come back, of which I am taking all of. Maribel. Starry's lifeless form, her face on the maggot, because the maggots have the human face of the soul that they once were, staring upwards dead in your hands. Your closest, dearest friend murdered. At your own grasp. Your alignment changes to neutral evil. That can be changed back, but I'm gonna DM Fiat this shit. You just murdered your best friend at the compulsion of the Book of Vile Darkness. Fucker, change it. 2. You hear the sound of a drip of water. In the back of the room, just behind the chest, a glass still pool of liquid shimmers and begins to move. A figure rises up out of it. They have long curved horns, deep-set red eyes beneath a stinking pulled cowl. And you see what looks to be a goat skull-like mouth protruding from the ends of it. Long spider-like fingers protrude forth from long ratted sleeves, and you hear the single clop of wet goat hooves across the floor. And it says in a cool, emotionless voice, "Well done, child." Maribel, the object of your hate, Starry's and Neon's hate, stands behind you and takes a single step forward. It tilts its head to you, and it holds up its hand, and it turns its palm up and says, "Your first lesson of many. To get what you want. Sometimes that what you love must die." It has much more to teach. And it takes another step forward. It holds up his hands. "Oh no, girl. Fear not me. I want nothing from you. In fact, I merely wish to give you..." It clicks its goat-like skeleton jaws together. "A gift which you have accepted. All I came for was this." It reaches down and picks up Starry's mask. That she wears. When
All
she
the time.
turned into a larva, it deattuned and fell off. I said it in the moment, and I said her true face was peering back at you.
Yeah.
I made it very clear that mask was not on her larva. No, her mask.
you know, her only prized possession that she's carried on throughout every iteration of her existence.
The goat. No, this is happening as it's happening. It fell off. You were in shock. And then maybe as you were reaching to pick the mask up, you heard the water. And you turned and you saw this thing. You stepped back in fear. Natural reaction. And it stepped forward and picked up the mask. Don't worry. You are no threat to me. If I wished you dead, you would be. Or worse. But I don't kill my pupils. Not so quickly, anyway. And don't... You have taken my reading material, listened to my first lesson, and executed it without hesitation. You are my pupil. Mm-hmm. What? Was it this guy? Oh, that's a devil, honey. I thought you meant this dude.
I will say, contextually, I told you not to send it to the guy that we are talking to now. Well, that is talking to you, and my corpse is just kind of in the room as a larva. But I try to make it as clear that this is the individual that is currently now in the room.
I wanted to... So, above board, raising hand. Was it... Am I insane? Was it clear to everyone else via context that this is who she was talking to?
It was
the
clear
one that was
to
calling
me.
her pocket murder.
Yeah.
Wait, that's...
Oh.
That's who you were talking to? I thought... Oh
that
my
was
god.
not clear to me, and that was not clear to Sam, unfortunately.
I thought that you were talking about this guy. Rebecca, you sending on your allies, your like hated foes all the time. I thought you were taunting this guy, asking the very target of your hate how to torture people to use on him. Oh my god. You absolutely did.
It was made clear many times that this is the devil dude that is trying to kill Neon and Starry.
That the guy calling her pocket murdered was just hooking her up with quite the gift.
No, I completely misunderstood. I thought you were messaging the Bjornoloff.
Yeah.
This dude.
The Bjornoloff was mentioned a few times during this whole thing. Like 4 times.
No, yes, in the campaign you do get a Book of Val Darkness from a Bjornoloth, but not this one. I just took it from that position and gave it to him. I thought this is who you were casting Sending to. Well, okay, we'll roll with it. Maribel is just as surprised as you are.
There you go.
He intercepted it and deceived you.
There you go.
This was a genuine miscommunication on my part, but it's too far to backtrack. It's been 2 hours. We're rolling with it. I'm sorry.
Christmas. It's Christmas.
This
I have
is
no
just
mask.
as interesting. Maribel is surprised too. What do you mean I'm your pupil? And then it all clicks into place. You're Sending. That wasn't your demon friend. It was this fucker. How would your random ass devil buddy know where the Book of Vile Darkness is? But maybe one of the fuckers who helped write it knew.
All I'm gonna say is remember what Starry said. He's gonna make you hurt one of your friends, one of the people that you love. That rings in your mind in that moment. He tricked you. This is sick. I love this.
Well, does it make sense though in narrative? Does it all click to you? Does it make sense? He has intercepted your Sending spell and deceived you into killing your friend, which Starry literally warned you earlier today would happen. Now your alignment has changed, and he has Starry's mask. He looks at you and says, "Thank you. I think this is a fair trade." He holds up Starry's mask and tightens his grip around it. Cracks run up the mask, and he squeezes it tight, and it shatters. And then he holds something in the remnants of the mask, a small thing hidden inside of the forehead, in the back. A small, triangular, perfectly carved piece of platinum that looks like it fits in with something else, a part of a whole. It holds it up and says, "It is a fairer trade than you know, child. Don't worry. Tell your friend I won't be visiting her anymore." Then it laughs a cold, hoarse cackle as it walks back to the pool of water. What does Maribel say? Does she do anything? What would you like to do? Would you like to have stopped it? Would you like to have intercepted it at any point? You could. This is open roleplay here. I'm just narrating. Mm-hmm. As is holding the mask. Yeah. Sure. Or are you trying to do it quickly or quietly? Sleight of hand check. That's true. I'm sorry, but no. You reach for the mask as quickly as you can, but it skitters under your grasp and slips up into this thing's hand. You try. You did. And then the conversation proceeds as you saw. It shatters the mask, holds up the small, teardropped triangular shape of something that fits into something else. You can tell it has an indent on the side, like something latches into it. And it looks to you and it says, "This is a fairer trade than you know. And tell your friend that I will not be bothering her anymore." And do you ask it? It looks back and says, "A piece of 3, fairly given, fairly earned, now returns to those who should own it the most." Sure. A piece of 3, fairly given, fairly earned. You have the only thing that you know is that the universe goes in 3s. This isn't. I'm not being facetious, by the way. This has lore implications. Even an 8 will tell you this because this is cant around Sigil. It's a common phrase. The universe travels in 3s. All things happen in 3. Somewhere, somehow, it has occurred twice over. And hags love 3. There are 3 hags in a coven, 3 children in a brood, 3 curses upon the head of those who spur me. And this is a piece of 3, whatever that means. It pockets it and turns and clip-clops back to the pool of water and slowly descends in, deeper than it should, as if going down a set of stairs. And it's gone. The pool of water turns back into a few inch deep stagnant puddle. The Book of Vile Darkness remains. And then you hear the sound of a cough. Starry, you stumble around the corner. Your next character, whichever one you have queued up, is ready to go. As you go back to the room that you briefly remember, you see Maribel standing with her back towards you. The book clutched in her hands, exuding a visible, tangible black. And fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Oh, sister.
And you say with a giggle, and then you see it. The shards of the mask on the ground, scattered about in front of the pool, in front of Maribel. And that's where we'll call it for tonight.
Ooh.
Drama! Yes, drama.
Ooh.
I'm sorry
Um,
that this episode kind of leaned more towards Maribel and Starry. I wasn't trying to focus on one group over the other. They had just plot
That's
stuff
okay.
happening, and you guys are repairing a ship. There are encounters. You will have them. We will start next session with you guys doing that. I try to give equal, but this is what happens when you split the party. I'm sorry.
All good.
I hope you guys at least enjoy the audio drama.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I wasn't
Will
trying
make
to
you
be.
Kill a friend.
Huh?
I didn't mean for that to come true.
Neither did I, but it was beautiful.
Yeah.
You can't write that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Good God. Fucking hell, guys. This is amazing. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. By the way, Emil, do you understand what I meant when I said I was sorry? I really am. But
It's all part of the game.
it is. You can get your mask back. It can be repaired, but this thing was after something inside of it.
Yeah. All my characters henceforth will no longer have a mask. Is the idea. This one is wearing makeup, which is why I brought them out.
Fair.
Mhm.
The plot is approaching, by the way. Also, fuck it. I'll say this was a major plot event. All of you level up.
Damn.
I'm not joking.
Damn.
Feel so much stronger after.
Damn.
What's that, Evie?
I feel so much stronger after grinding down Starry's bad welds.
Oh.
Don't worry. I'll throw an encounter at you guys that's a level up worthy.
Mm.
Oh no.
You guys get to fight a giant worm without us. Have fun.
You can. Oh yeah. No. Nice.
Oh yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I hope you guys. Again, I'm sorry if this episode was a bit one-sided. I wasn't trying to be, but you guys separated and plot shit happened. The thing with Maribel was going to happen. It's been waiting at her house. I didn't expect it to spiral into this, and I certainly didn't expect Maribel to message with the Book of Vile Darkness. All that. That was a fuck up on my part. I thought she was messaging him. That was on me. Sendings have been intercepted in the past, and it can happen. But could you understand why I thought you were doing that? You have sending your villains in the past to taunt them, and that's kind of what I thought you were doing here. Yeah, that's fair. No, you're right. In hindsight, it was dumb. That's fair. No, that's fair. But I think this was more interesting anyway. Unironically, kinda. So Beornoloths are canonically creatures of tremendous, ancient, and unmanipulated evil. In that, I mean, devils are pure evil, yes, but they are evil in the specific intents and constraints of the law. They are restricted into behaving lawfully by their nature. Demons are the same way. Demons are unbridled, uncontained, uncontrolled evil too, but they are restrained in that they don't think beyond their immediate impulses and desires. They can scheme, they can plot, they can manipulate ahead of time, but it is all always, unquestioningly, in the attempt to gain what they immediately want. I want to murder, I want to rape, I want to kill, I want to brutalize. That is all they do. They are constrained by that. Beornoloths and Yugoloths are not. They are just evil. They hold to no law. They feel impulses, but not in the same way that demons do. They only want to achieve pure, perfect evil, untainted by basal savagery and emotion. unrestrained by the formality of law. Just evil. In its purest form. And in my mind, that makes them the most dangerous of all. Like, technically speaking, on their stat sheet, Beornolas and other Yugalos are neutral evil, but for Beornolas, I wouldn't write it like that. I would just remove the secondary part of the alignment. They are just evil. Yeah, just pure evil. And think about what this thing,